Today's channel sponsor is brought to you by Curiosity Stream. If you're a fan of nature and animals, Curiosity Stream has thousands of these streamable documentaries for you to watch, ranging from stuff like lizards, insects, monkeys, different sorts of animals, and a lot more. You can stream to any device for your viewing anytime or anywhere. I really enjoy the David Attenborough series for learning about different kinds of animals and nature. Curiosity Stream has a really good deal going now. By using code NIGHT, you can sign up for an entire year just for $14.99 for unlimited streaming access. So go check it out. Thanks Curiosity Stream for the channel sponsor. What's up YouTube? Farte video with a full Fox Pokemon team. Straight away, right, I wanted to put Delphox on this team, but I couldn't, right, because it's not in the game. So I come up with some other Pokemon that resemble foxes or had fox-like appearances, and I think I make some pretty good picks here. Now, if you do want to come and watch me live, or some of these battles live, Pokemon Sweeps live Soul, check your boy out on Twitch here, twitch.tv/PIMPNITE. The link is in the description of the video. Today, we've got 3 battles, because I didn't actually get around to putting an upload yesterday. I've been fairly busy, but I really hope you enjoy these battles, people. There were some crazy ones. So the first battle here we have is against Mr Guzzle, and he's got a very, very funny team here. I want to see if you can guess what it is. Maybe leave a comment in the comment section below, right? Now, my first fox is going to be Thievul here. This is a stakeout bulky Thievul set. So we got Knockoff, Fire Fang, Sucker Punch, and Play Rough. Pretty decent moves all around there for a physical set, and I've got this as Brave Nature, right, because I want to go second with the red card. Now, Vulpix is going to slide a Sheer Cold just right by me. I was actually very glad it didn't land. So I went for the Play Rough there. It didn't do amazing damage. Now, I can either go for a Fire Fang to take it out or a knockoff here. Obviously, I want to go second because I want the red card to activate, swap my opponent's Pokemon out, and then I'll get a boost on my stakeout ability as they swap out. Unfortunately, here I went for the Fire Fang, and the Alola Vulpix did have another move apart from Sheer Troll, and a Sharpedo's going to come in here. So I went for Fire Fang, but look at the damage that Fire Fang did. That was actually really, really impressive with his ability. Quite a difficult ability to use is Stakeout, especially on Thievul. Like, I don't know, Thievul's one of those Pokemon that isn't terribly amazing in any sort of, stat, right? So we got the Sharpedo go for a close combat there, and unfortunately Thievul is going to get demolished. But it is pretty good in some of the other battles I've got in this video. Now, the next Pokemon I'm going to be swapping into this, I was thinking maybe I could swap my Eevee in here. I've got Choice Scarf, Double Kick only on PIMPNITE's channel, right? And I was hoping maybe I could outspeed. I know the opponent did get a +1 in speed, right? But I had no idea what this was going to be. A bulky one, an offensive one. Anyway, it's going to get one-shotted by Crunch there, which was unfortunate. So I did run a fairly risky play there, where I could have played it safe and maybe brought it in later on, but that's how it is, right? Now, the next Pokemon I'm going to bring in is the Ninetales, right? I'll obviously explain more of that Eevee set as the next battle and third battle go on. Now, this Ninetales was a physical set. It was actually pretty fun. We had Ice Shard, Triple Axle, which was a good addition to its moveset on the physical side, Iron Tail, and Aqua Tail. So I got Max Speed and Max Attack, Jolly Nature with a Choice Band. Now, I chose to bring this out pretty much because it couldn't really do a lot to this team, as you'll find out. So here comes a Crunch there from the Sharpedo. It doesn't really have, obviously, a lot of moves to hit me with there. I went for a Triple Axle, and it turned into a Single Axle. It only landed once, man. It always happens to me. Like, I have to ask you, like, people watching this, I get a lot of single axles and double axles and even 0 axles. You know, like, it happens all the time. So go for another triple axe there. The Sharpedo is going to go for Protect there, and it's going to protect itself and get another speed boost, which really isn't going to help it out too much because obviously it's already going to outspeed my Ninetales, right? So here comes another Crunch from the Sharpedo. It's a clean 3-hit KO on my Ninetales. Obviously they didn't have any other moves to really hit me with, right? As you'll probably see with the rest of the team. So down goes the Sharpedo there, and there's still a Vulpix left. Now the next Pokemon to come in here, right? You wouldn't believe it. It is going to be another Sharpedo. So they're all different kinds of Sharpedo sets, right? So you'll be able to see, you might be able to see what this team is yet. I mean, I'm going to say it might be a blessing in disguise that you don't know what this team is. Let me put it that way. So we got this rough skin Sharpedo. It's going to take me out with that. I did get a little bit of damage, so I guess You know, nothing, some damage is better than nothing right now. The next Pokemon I got to swap in here, I got to get back into this game. I'm getting absolutely destroyed, right? So a little bit of hail damage there on the Grandpa Shark. And next Pokemon I got here is my Ninetales, which is actually a Zoroark, right? So some more Zoroark trolling. This set is to mimic a Ninetales completely, right? So we've got Flamethrower, Substitute, and Extra Sentry. I've got no stab at all, and I've got, it's a real trolling set, right? So I'm going to be going through the nasty plot here. Hopefully I don't get hit by a super effective move. Maybe the Sharp Hitter will go for a different move, maybe not. So here comes a Snarl here, which is actually going to be not very effective against my Zoroark, but unfortunately, it's actually going to drop my special attack there, so it's only giving me like a +1 there. So my illusion is gone. I'm revealed and exposed. It was very, very sus, people. However, I do have a +1 in special attack. Now, I've got neither moves that the Sharp Hitter with, so I went for the Flamethrower. Now, the item this thing has got is actually a King's Rock, right? Flamethrower actually does some pretty good damage, and I get a flinch on the first one. I was like, man, that was really, really lucky, right? Now, I can go for another nasty plot here, or I could just keep going for Flamethrowers and hope for a flinch. So, that's what I did. Max speed and max special attack, and the second Flamethrower was enough to take out the Sharp Hitter, which is very, very good. So, really, this worked very, very nicely with Ninetales. So, Zoroark works good when you can actually disguise it as another Pokemon and try and trick the opponent, too. Also, a fun fact, too, you can see that it's obviously my nickname or the name of the Pokemon says Zoroark, but my opponent wouldn't be able to see that, right? So out comes Gibble, very appropriately named right there, and it's going to go for a scary face. I get it, because, you know, it looked like a shark. So it's going to drop my speed. However, Zoroark is running a timid nature and is actually able to outspeed the Gibble, and it's going to be dropped in 2 hits, which is very good right there. Next Pokemon to come out here was the Vulpix. It's like, okay, I know this has got Sheer Cold. I think I can leave its attack if it does miss or goes for a Frostbite. And obviously, it's going to miss there, which is very, very nice. And it's going to be going down to a Flamethrower. So, Vulpix is down, and Zoroark has actually got me back into this battle. Now, we've got a couple more Pokemon left, and that is another Sharp Hitter. So, it's almost like it's not a full shark team, right? That would be the wrong thing to call it. But you're on the right track if you're thinking that, right? So anyway, we're going to go for a Flamethrower here on the Sharp Hitter, and obviously it's not going to do too much damage, right? The unfortunate thing about this, right, is a flinching set with Extra Sentry. Now, Extra Sentry already has a chance to flinch, so King's Rock's not going to affect it, but Flamethrower is obviously affected by that item. I just had to, say that one there too. So once again, I was versing these Sharp Hitters, right? I couldn't use my Psychic type move, and I had obviously had a not very effective move. So I was trying to counter by the Dark and, Water typing right there. So Zoroark is going to go down to a Poison Fang and a bye-bye for that one. But I still have a normal Ninetales left to try and do something, right? So these are very, very fast Pokemon too, all with Speed Boost. Now, Alakazam is probably the biggest stretch on my team. However, all the Abracadabra and Alakazam line, right, they actually all have Fox-like appearances, right, if you check up on it. Unfortunately, I'm going to get destroyed in one shot. I had a physical curse set there. I'll explain that one later because I got counted so hard by this team. When you're looking at my team was fairly countered by all these Sharp Hitters. Next Pokemon here is the Ninetales, and this was the Pokemon that had to try and get me back into the game, right? Now, this Ninetales is actually a really, really interesting set here. We got Mystical Fire, Pain Split, Fire Spin, and Scorching Sands. The EVs on this one are kind of odd, right? We got Max Health and Max Defense, Bold Nature. So I wanted to make this a very, very defensive Ninetales, right? And with Scorching Sands, you had the chance of 30% of burning the opponent. So once you got a burn, this thing was very, very bulky on the defensive side, right? Even against like super effective moves. Like Ninetales is obviously known for its bulk on the defensive side. So I thought I'd make like a fun, bulky one. Now, obviously you want to try and trap the opponent with Fire Spin too. So if you come across a physical attacker, you trap them with the Fire Spin and you burn them, right? So the only way that could really get around that was be to set up with like Sword Dance or something like that, right? Now, the other moves I've got in here are Mystical Fire. So say I get really bulky on the defensive side, I burn a lot of the, the users or opponents, physical mons there. I can definitely start spamming Mystical Fire to drop the opponent's special attack when they try and bring in a special attacker. Once my health gets kind of low, I've got a decent amount of speed still, even with no investment, and I can get that off with the Pain Split, right? which I think is a pretty fun set. Now, the item in this one is Leftovers 2. Not a Pokemon I'd probably Dynamax, but in this stage, I really had to do it. I was versing all these Sharpedos, and it was scary, man. So here comes a Night Slash from the Sharpedo. It doesn't do a lot of damage, obviously the bird. Hopefully, I can get through the Infatuation, and I don't actually waste Dynamax. So firstly, I had a little bit of a plan for the last Sharpedo, right? I was confident I could get through this one. Obviously, it was bad. So I was going to put the drought up on the field there, or the sunny weather. Now I'm thinking, if my opponent does Dynamax a Sharpedo when it sends it in next, right? Inevitably they're going to. I can initially live quite easily the first Max Geyser, then I could go for the Max Flare, and it could go back and forth, right? And maybe I'll be able to stall out like 2 turns of their Dynamax, or 1 turn, right? And then I may be possibly able to get a burn with Scorching Sands. And if I do, I believe we'll do some very, very, I'll be very, very good, right? Because these water type moves won't do a lot. All I've seen in this Sharpedo so far is Aqua Jet, right? So I was thinking about this. Should I go for Max Flare again, expecting them to go for a Max Geyser, or should I try and stall out the first turn of the Dynamax, right, and go for Max Guard? That was sort of the thing I was thinking about, right? I was thinking, or do I go for Max Guard, or do I go for Max Flare? Max Guard determines, actually stops them using a move altogether, so the sun will stay out. So that's not a bad move to go for, right? So here comes the Dynamax Sharpedo here, and, Sharpedo looks really, really cool in a shiny form, too. It's like a big pink-purple shark. Now, I got one more turn of Dynamax after this one, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should go Max Flare on my third one, right? So throwing up that Max Guard there on the Light Sharpedo, here comes the Max Geyser, and I'm assuming that one is coming off like a Waterfall or Aqua Jet, right? That or Liquidation, one of those moves, right? Ninetales would not be able to live that very well outside of Dynamax, and if the rain's up, well, then I'm done, right? So I have to make sure I get a burn on the Sharpedo, or the sun is up until I get a burn, right? So instead, they're going to use Max Mindstorm there. Doesn't do a lot of damage. As I said, I'm running a very bulky defensive set here, right? So the Psychic Terrain is down on the field. So like, okay, let's go for Max Flare again. I was definitely expecting a Max Geyser, so I don't do a lot of damage to Mummy Sharp there, but at least it's down to half health. What I need to do right now is try and get the burn on it. If I can get the burner, I got a chance maybe of taking it out. Obviously, my attacks are not going to do heaps of damage, maybe Mystical Fire will do a little bit of damage there, but I'm going to need to probably get the Sharpedo maybe with a Fire Spin, or at least out of Dynamax, right? So I thought about going for Pain Split. I thought, well, I might get hit pretty hard here, but then I'm running like quite a bulky set. So let's go for Scorching Sands, and maybe I'll be able to get the burn right. So here comes the inevitable Max Geyser, and look how well I take that, like Dynamax versus non-Dynamax. So that was extremely good. Now, the problem here is the rain is up at the moment, right? So go for Scorch Sands, hoping I can get the burn on the Sharpedo. I get a crit right, and I do not get the burn. However, Sharpedo is out of its Dynamax next turn, so it's going to be curious what move it's going to use. So obviously, it's going to be able to outspeed me too. So I'm thinking, okay, what do I do here? Do I go for Pain Split, or do I go for Scorching Sands for the burn? I decided here, the best move would be to go for properly Pain Split, right? And that's going to be about it. I really don't see myself be able to winning this matchup at the moment, right? And I was like, Pain Split, Scorching Sands. I could go for damage on the Scorching Sands. Like, nah, let's go for Pain Split. They only have Aqua Jet as their attacking move, as a water type move, and Psychic Terrain actually blocked that, so that really helped me out. The problem was I wasted a turn because I went for Pain Split, whereas I could have gone for Scorching Sands. Like, oh man, that really sucks. I could have got like an extra turn of trying to burn it right. So I was like, okay, well, they can't use Aqua Jet, right? Let's go for Scorching Sands. So here comes the Crunch here. Crunch doesn't do a lot of damage there to my bulky Ninetales, and we're going to be going for a Scorching Sands here. Scorching Sands doesn't obviously do a lot either, but I got the burn. That was very, very, very important that I got that. So as you can see, I took the Crunch so well, I could probably go for... it's getting to the range where a Pain Split isn't going to be so good, so it might be better if I go for a Fire Spin here, right, and spam Mystical Fire. So we got the Psychic Terrain on the field, and it's still raining at the moment. We've got 3 minutes left on this battle as well. I'm thinking, what do I do? It's either, it has to be Pain Split or Fire Spin. That's really my only options here. So going for just an attacking move in the end there. Here comes a Poison Fang. It's like, okay, I knew why they did that for, to poison my Ninetales. So now Ninetales are going to be taking poison damage. I just went for Scorching Sands for a little bit of damage, right? I was thinking that's going to be better than none, right? Fire Spin could miss as well, and it's also going to be powered down in the rate. I mean, it's going to be nice at the end of the turn for some extra damage here, but now since I've got that poison on me, it's very, very close here. Like, now, obviously, the Psychic Terrain is going to disappear this turn, so that means my opponent can go for an Aqua Jet there. So like, uh-oh, that's bad. I mean, it's probably not going to take me out at this range, but it's going to be very, very close, right? So once again, I've got the option to go for Fire Spin or Scorching Sands. I was so worried that Fire Spin would miss here, but once again, the opponent is burned. So if I could get that Fire Spin to land and the initial damage after it, let's do that right. Now, Ninetales managed to lift that Aqua Jet really, really well there in the rain. That burn was crazy, and I get the Fire Spin off on the Sharpedo here. Now, the next turn, the rain actually runs out. However, I've got that leftover recovery. I'll probably be able to live the poison now, and Sharpedo is going to go down to the Fire Spin damage and the burn damage all in one, and I'll live on 69 health. Man, that was such a crazy close battle there. If I didn't get the burn on the Sharpedo, that definitely would have been game. It definitely helped that my opponent did have Aqua Jet, not like something like Waterfall, because obviously I would have been taking a lot more damage there. But a really, really cool team there, and some very, very interesting movesets too. Let's get on to the second battle. This was a battle against Lily. I'm not sure if this was actually on the Ycom or not, or on my Twitch stream. I can't really remember. But once again, this was actually a really cool theme team as well. So the first Pokemon I got here is the Sudowoodo, and I've got my Ninetales lead, which actually was quite good against this team. Now, this is a physical Ninetales here with the Snow Warning and the Choice Band, right? It was actually really cool how it got Triple Axle. Made this set just a little bit better. It's still terrible though. So I've got Iron Tail, Aqua Tail, and Triple Axle. I thought, well, Aqua Tail will do pretty good damage to Sudowoodo. Going for that one, right? And it does fairly good damage to Sudowoodo. It's a clean 2-hit KO. Now, Sudowoodo is going to be setting them Stealth Rocks up, shaking its little booty there. Did you see that? Like, the little tree was like just shaking its booty. Now, look at Sudowoodo's expression. It changes so much. Just look at his face. So it's going to be having the leftovers as the item. Even with the leftovers recovery, I'm definitely going to be able to take it out with the Aqua Tail, right? The only bad thing would be maybe if it missed and then it had something like Head Smash, right? However, it's not going to miss, and Sudowoodo is going to be going down, which is very, very good. A nice start to the battle too. The only bad thing is I am locked into Aqua Tail, which really isn't the greatest move on Ninetales. Next Pokemon is Executor, called These Nuts, right? So I'm like, all right. Oops, I just banged my microphone then. I got to swap this out, and we're going to go into Ninetales now, which is, of course, Zoroark in disguise, but my opponent doesn't know that. Now, this is going to be a Hypnosis Executor. It's going to miss, which is very, very good. Now, I'm going to have the opportunity to be able to use a attacking move here. Then the Executor had Blunder Policy. I'm like, what? That's going to make it really, really fast. Like, I mean, it's not a super, super fast Pokemon, but if they're running something like max speed, right, it might be bad. Like, I could get outspeed here. Now, I do have the sub. I went for that, and they outsped me, and they got a Stomping Tantrum off against my Ninetales, and it took my Zoroark out. That was really, really cool there. My Ninetales would have got destroyed then, even my bulky one. So, man, Zoroark got destroyed again. My trolling didn't work. Now, the next Pokemon to swap in is Thievul, right? I thought, okay, I can definitely have attack from this thing, and I can probably try and finally get some big stakeout, red card damage. So I decided to go for Knockoff here. That's my most strongest move. Here comes a Stomp, right? Oh no. So Stomp has a chance of flinching, right? But before any of those things can come into play, the Pokemon is going to be swapped out automatically with red card, and Snorlax is going to come in. And the bad thing was, right, I missed out on my stakeout boost, right, because I wasn't able to attack that turn. Man, I can't get a break at the moment. So I've still got Knockoff to use here on the Snorlax. It'd be cool to get rid of its item, because usually it has a berry, right? I'd say it's probably Thick Fat, so let's go for Knockoff, right? So outspeeding Snorlax, which definitely isn't hard or anything, and I'm going to get rid of its Salac Berry. It went for Fissure. Fissure, Salac Berry, Snorlax. I say that probably was like a scummy Gluttony set, right? So I obviously can't go for Knockoff. Well, I mean, I can go for Knockoff again, but it's going to be nowhere near the base power. So I decided to go for the Sucker Punch here. Now, my opponent is going to choose to G-Max the Snorlax here for very, very appropriate reasons, okay? Now, if you haven't guessed what this theme team is right now, I'm going to spoil it for you, right? I mean, you should be able to guess it by now. It's a tree team. Now, as you can see, right, it's pretty cool because G-Max Snorlax has got a tree on top of it. So it works really nicely in this theme team, right? I'm actually due to do a new tree team. So the last one I think I did was like 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was like around there. So in the coming future, you will see a new tree team from me as well. So we're going to have the Thievul fainted out to Snorlax, obviously, and I'm going to bring in Eevee here. Now, Eevee got absolutely decimated in the last battle. It's time for it to shine. Now, I was running different items between Choice Scarf and with Last Resort. Obviously, it didn't work really well with Last Resort, right? I wanted to run like Retaliate, but I was running different items with it. So Retaliate was really nice, with, obviously with the Choice Scarf, right? But then I had Choice Scarf with some other moves like double kick and stuff like that, and fun things along those lines. So I did mess it up with like, Choice Scarf and normal gem. Like I went between, and Silk Scarf worked well too. So go for the Max Knuckle there on the Snorlax, coming off the mighty double kick. I knew the first one wouldn't take out Snorlax, right? It's very, very bulky, but it would give my Eevee a nice attack boost, right? So here comes the G-Max replenish. The good thing about this is, right, Snorlax cannot replenish a berry because I knocked it off, right? So say if you have an item knocked off or plucked or something like that, you cannot obviously get your berry back through G-Max Snorlax's G-Max replenish, right? So that's just like an interesting thing to know, right? So getting another plus in attack there, that's 2 now on my Eevee, so it's going to be hitting pretty hard. Plus, I can actually use a normal type move with Eevee too. Now, the next Pokemon here is the Phantom. Like, dang it, I can't use a normal type move. It's going to see my Choice Scarf here. However, I do have the move Bite on here, so I can go for a Max Darkness. This allows me to hit, like, dark types and stuff, too. The other move I had in there was Iron Tail, so I could hit, like, rock types, right? So go for the Max Darkness at +2 in attack. Man, it took it well. It was definitely a Everlight Phantom there. Must be a descendant of Tristan Trevenant, the Trevenant from the Undercover PIMPNITE sweep. I'm sure you've seen it. Anyway, I'm going to get destroyed there by a literal stump and by Eevee. But Eevee did a good job there getting rid of the Snorlax and softening up that little Phantom, right? Next Pokemon is Alakazam. I was like, hopefully I can do something with a set this time. This is a max health, max special events, Curse Recover, Drain Punch, Psycho Cut set. Magic Guard only on PIMPNITE's channel. So firstly I thought, okay, let's get one curse off. I should be able to live the attack from this thing, and then I can take it out with a Psycho Cut, right? So Phantom obviously is even if it's like no investment, it's still probably going to hit me fairly hard. And then it had a foul play. I'm like, oh no, that's a 2-hit cut. That's bad. Now, I do have the leftovers on the Alakazam because we're trying to make Alakazam really, really bulky, okay, right? Now, in one battle I had with this Alakazam set, I'll kid you not, I had +6 in defense and it was still a 2-hit KO on one Pokemon. It was so sad. So I could go for a Psycho Cut or I can go for a cover here. There's really no point going for a cover because I'm not probably going to be able to live, like, attacks really, really well. And it's just going to end up in, like, a really big Storm Fest. Now, Alakazam's going to go for the Psycho Cut here, and it lived on 1 health. You wouldn't read about it. And when it lived on 1 health, right, it went for a curse that actually took itself out to you. So it wasn't all that bad, I guess. But, man, I just can't believe it. Alakazam cannot catch even like a break here, right? So we're going to get a little bit of leftover recovery there, and since I've got the Magic Guard, right, I wasn't affected by Curse, which is really, really cool. So I was just lucky I had that, right? Now, speaking of Tristan Trevenant, here he is. So we got Willow here, so that's not a bad name for Trevenant. So I've got Psycho Cut here. I know Psycho Cut won't take it out. It probably won't do much damage at all, right? But I've got to do something here. I either go for Psycho Cut or I go for a cover, and then the Trevenant's going to outspeed me with an Astonish. I can't believe it. So it's going to outspeed me and also get the flinch, which was really, really unfortunate there. Now, I'm going to get some leftovers recovery here, but the problem is, right, since I was running a bulky Alakazam and I had a -1 in speed, Trevenant obviously took advantage of that, and it scummed my Alakazam completely out of this battle. Oh, man. Only on PIMPNITE's channel will you see a Trevenant defeat an Alakazam with Astonish. Next Pokemon to bring in here is my Ninetales. I'm going to take a little bit of nasty damage there from the Stealth Rock. However, this Pokemon is actually fairly good against my opponent's team, right? When you look at all the typings of this team, right, usually tree-like Pokemon, obviously you can see what it is, most of them are grass types, so they're going to be weak to ice. So here comes another Astonish. I was like, I'm sick of getting flinched by this thing. I've got to take the Tristan Trevenant out. So going for the triple axle there after the first one actually missed, and this one actually is going to land 3 times, which is very, very good right there. I mean, I was just getting sick of missing it, hitting a single axle and sometimes a double axle. Next Pokemon to come in here is going to be the Executor, which is called these nuts. Of course it is, these coconuts. Has anyone ever, right, gone to a shop or had a coconut, like you have the cold coconut, right, and you cut it open and you just drink the milk out of it straight up? Has anyone ever done that? Like, what does it even taste like? And don't say coconut milk. I want to know what it tastes like. Give me a nice, realistic description. Does it taste nice, or does it taste similar to like actual milk, or not really? I don't know, just a bit of trivia, right? In comes the Alolan Executor there. It's going to have a Yucky Berry Harvest. I was like, oh, here we go. And I'm going to hopefully land 3 times there, but the second one absolutely demolishes it. And that, my friends, is the second battle. A very, very cool team there. Lily, I'm pretty sure that one was done on my Twitch chat too, but very nice. I will be bringing a new tree team in the coming future too. Probably very similar to that one. I'll try and use maybe some Pokemon that I didn't in the first place, but there might be a couple of repeats too. So the last battle we have for today's video, this one's against Foxfire. We've got a Noivern lead here. Now this was also an interesting theme team too, if you can guess what it is. I think I can guess what it is, but I couldn't really put like a word on it. Anyway, so we got Thievul as the lead here. I'm going to get that activation on the red card. This time, I'm not going to have any scummy flinches or anything going wrong, hopefully. And in comes Frostlass, and this was absolutely perfect, right? Because knockoff was not only super effective, I got a boost from Fake Out, and that took out Frostlass's entire family tree. Wait, they're already ghosts, so they're already gone. Man, I got trolled again. So that's one Pokemon down at least. And here comes the Noivern again, obviously for round 2 with the Boom Burst. And then it went for Hyper Voice. I'm like, wait. That had Boom Burst and Hyper Voice. And it also had the Throat Spray too, which is really, really interesting. Also, as a fun fact too, if you notice, right, which is quite cool, the Noivern didn't waste its Throat Spray because Red Card actually activated before Throat Spray, which is really, really interesting. So now it's going to go for a Swift. So that had, hang on, that had a Boom Burst, Hyper Voice, and Swift, which is a very interesting moveset. Next Pokemon here is my Choice Scarf Eevee, and I'm going to be going for a Bite here, and that is enough to take out Noivern, which is really, really cool. So that was nice, getting a nice, easy revenge KO with Eevee. Next Pokemon to come in here is the Darmanitan, almost called it Daramuka there. I mean, this Pokemon is difficult. So I thought I'd do something unpredictable. I thought, let's go into Ninetales. I bet they won't expect me to swap in Ninetales because of the clear weakness, right? Then I might be able to go for an Aqua Tail Choice Band and do some pretty solid damage, right? So getting the Hail up, and now it's going to go for Flare Blitz. I'm like, man, I guess, like, it could have gone for a Fire-type move, but I thought it wouldn't be an obvious swap-in for me to go into, like, a super effective weakness. But obviously, that's how it is, right? So Darmanitan is going to take, like, a bunch of damage there from the recall from, you know, Flare Blitz. It's a very strong Flare Blitz user, right? So now I'm going to bring in my Flash Fire Ninetales here, and it's going to go for Fire Fang, and it's going to Flash Fire. I'm like, okay, my opponent definitely knows that I don't have Drought, right? I wonder why they did that. Now, remember, they've already used Flare Blitz. Then they use Fire Fang, so you might be able to see some sort of, you know, pattern with their moves they've been using, right? Regardless, I can definitely take this out with another move on this Ninetales, right? This is the bulky Scorching Sands, right? So I went for Scorching Sands, and then they used Fire Punch. This Darmanitan only has fire moves, so I'm starting to sort of get what this team is, right? I still can't work out why the Noivern had Swift, or, like, I get the Noivern had Boom Burst and Hype Voice, but is that all, like, does that mean it's only going to use normal type moves, and, you know, the Frostlass was probably only going to use ice type moves, and then this is only going to use fire type moves? I think that's what this team is all about, looking back on that now. Next Pokemon to come in is Gyarados. I was starting thinking, okay, Gyarados, is it going to have all water type moves? Is it going to have all flying type moves? I'm not really sure, right? And the Gyarados is going to go for Surf, so that answers my question. I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. I'd say this Gyarados is probably going to have Hydro Pump as well, if it's the same sort of theme they've been running on their other Pokemon. So I thought, okay, this might be a nice opportunity to set up some curses with the Cursed Alakazam, hopefully, right? So outspeeding the Gyarados there, getting my first initial curse off, which is good. And I might be able to get some recovers back on and start spamming the Psycho Cut, right? So I've got that +1 in defense and attack now, which is good. And now it's a mix set with Aqua Tail. Like, no, so it's possibly going to have Waterfall too. Like, I'm trying to think of the other, like, water type moves that it can learn. Maybe it's got Water Gun, people. Maybe. Or Bubble. Bubble, people, bubble Gyarados. Anyway, so it's going to have another physical move. It's going to have Scald. So this had Scald, and it had Aqua Tail as well. So it had Hydra. I'd say it's probably got Hydra Pump as well. I'm trying to think of the other moves that it could possibly have. Unfortunately, Alakazam's going to get burned there, which really, really sucks because it's not really going to worry me in terms of losing health because I got Magic Guard, but it's going to halve my attack, which is already really, really terrible on Alakazam. Like, poor Alakazam, out of all the battles that I did, it just got destroyed every single time. I was also thinking about running like an Everlight Kadabra with Cursu for maybe some extra bulk, but man, I got trashed every time I used that set. Now the Gyarados is going to get a free Moxie. I'm like, uh-oh. I mean, the only good thing is it's going to have to use like Aqua Tail to, obviously take advantage of that, right? So I thought, okay, let's go into Eevee and let's see how much damage I could possibly do with my Eevee here, right? Maybe I'll be able to live Aqua Tail, maybe Aqua Tail may miss. Who knows, right? I believe there's a chance I could still live it. It also depends on what Eevees they got. Maybe this Gyarados is something, I don't know, like if I was running like a Gyarados with 4 water type moves and 2 of them are physical or 3 of them are physical or 3 of them are special, I'd probably try and get the Eevees like maxed on both sides. Anyway, so we got a special move there on the Gyarados. I went for the G-Max Cuddle and the Gyarados is going to be going down there. Would I leave the Aqua Jet? Possibly. It was a low chance I would have lived it. Round there. But regardless, right, we got this Thundurus coming in. So it's like, okay, this is going to be Dynamax Thundurus. Is this going to have all electric type moves? What's it going to have, right? Now, I won't be able to know what moves they are because it's in Dynamax, right? But if it has some sort of like powerful electric type move, maybe it's got something like Thunderbolt. I'm thinking Rising Voltage. Wild Charge, things like that, right? Eevee is definitely not going to be able to live that one. So here comes the through with the Max Blinding on Eevee, and it's going to go down there. And also the Electric Terrain is going to go on the field as well, which is going to kind of be bad, right? Now I've got 2 more Pokemon left. I've got my bulky Ninetales. And that's about it. I wasn't really sure how I was going to get back into the game at the moment. Like, it was sort of like that first battle, right? All those Sharpedos, I already had my Ninetales left, right? So we're going to go into Zoroark this time, right? Let's see if I can get some damage on this thing at least. So what I thought, right? If I can outspeed this Thundurus, I could go for a substitute, right? And stall out the Dynamax, then I could attack it, right? And maybe I will get lucky with a, a flinch, possibly? Who knows? I've got extra sensory anyway, right? So once again, we're going to go for a substitute here. That is the final turn of Dynamax or Thundurus. So thank goodness I was actually able to outspeed it because I would have taken like, lots and lots of damage. It would have been over, right? There's no way I would have been able to tank any of those attacks, right? So that is the last turn of Dynamax for the Thundurus. Thank goodness. Now, I knew that I couldn't definitely take this out in one shot. I would need to get a couple of flinches on this thing. Maybe 2 in a row, right? So go for Galaxy Brain, extra sensory right there, and it's a 3-hit KO. I pop the air balloon. I do not get a flinch. Now it's going to go for Rising Voltage. Something else is rising, and Zoroark is going to be going down there, right? And you can see it's revealed. I quite like Substitute on Zoroark too, because you can hide behind the Pokemon, it's illusion, and you can hide behind the Substitute until you get hit by a sound type move, of course. Okay, last Pokemon here is the Ninetales, again, like the first battle, and we got that swapping out, and the next Pokemon coming here is a Groudon. I'm like, okay, Groudon's definitely using a ground type move, right? I mean, what's it gonna have? Fissure, Precip Blades, Mud Slap, Mud Shot, I don't know. So go for the Mystical Fire there, does a lot of damage. I was like, wow, that did so much. It was a very, very good crit there. So dropping the special attack on the Groudon right there. Electric Terrain is going to go bye-bye. I'm going to go for yet another Mystical Fire. I was hoping I could get another crit. It was wishful thinking because it's going to live there. The next move is definitely going to take me out, and the Precip Blades actually misses. That was so lucky there. I definitely would have gone down to a Groudon's Precip Blades and no worries. Like, even with my bulky Ninetales set, it would have got smashed. So the last Pokemon, Yuri, know what that is the Thundurus, right? Now, I could go for Mystical Fire in the sun once again. Here comes the Thunderbolt here. I thought that'd be quite good if I could drop the special attack of this Pokemon, right? And the next Thunderbolt wouldn't do as much. So go for Mystical Fire there. I'm going to get that nice, clean special attack drop there, which is very good. Plus, I've got the leftovers as the item too. And we're on the home stretch here, people. All I got to do is tank this attack and take that Pokemon out there. I tanked the Thunderbolt very, very nicely, and the bulky Ninetales once again was the MVP. But I definitely would have lost there if I didn't dodge that move earlier on. Hope you enjoyed the Fox team, people. I'll be back tomorrow with another Alphabet team. Peace out.